All right, welcome back to the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz. You already know where to hit that subscribe button, man. Shout out to my next guest. You might know him from his song Foreplay that dropped about 3-4 years ago. Multi-million. You just hit like what, a couple million streams on that joint?
Yeah, God bless. We hit like 100 million streams like last week.
Man, and I'm happy because it's one of those records where you just gotta listen and there's like straight bars in there. I feel like bars don't really exist in this day and age, man. His album just dropped, Two Shepherds. Jalen Santoy, what's good, bro?
Not much, bro. I appreciate you having me.
I appreciate you coming here, man. Also, shout out to the homegirl Alasia because she hooked us up with this, man.
That's my homie.
Right?
Yeah, shout out.
She
Alasia.
said y'all met a while ago, right?
Yeah, Alasia was one of the first people I met in LA.
That's what's up.
Yeah, me and her have been rocking ever since. She's cool person, bro.
Yeah, because you're originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. So
Yeah.
when did you move out to LA?
I've been in LA for like 3.5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's about the time. That's like what? Did you move to LA after or before Foreplay?
It's literally, so I released it on SoundCloud first when I was in college. And it was moving around a little bit on SoundCloud. Then I moved out here and I met Ghazi from Empire. And me and him just started like making sense. And after that, it was kind of, yeah.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm listening to your music, and it's crazy because once I found out Foreplay was at the end of Two Shepherds, you kind of get this feeling like, wow, like it's a very timeless record. Like 3 years later, it's still relatable.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, because you can kind of map out nowadays, like, oh, this is kind of like the SoundCloud era of rap, or you know, like he probably made this in like 2010 or whatever. Yeah. But like, I'm listening to your shit, and you know, I can't reiterate this enough, but like, I just appreciate the fact that you keep bars alive, man.
Yeah, appreciate that for real.
Do you feel like it's tough for you to survive in this age where, you know, I feel like a lot of artists are just going for like what's hot right now?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone back and forth with my team just having straightforward conversation because at the same time, I try not to pay too much attention to what other people got going on and allow it to affect my mental towards how I process and go about the things that I'm trying to do. But I can definitely say we in a different time when it comes to music in the sense of what people are sonically like just being normalized to. And I know that's not necessarily everything that I always do in a sense because I have a little more content heavy with it, like you're saying, bars and things like that. So it definitely has been a journey with that sense, but I mean, I feel like with me staying true to who I am through the process, it's allowed me to even be here where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, because I think that people who chase after the music that they truly want to create, it's more than times not something for the radio.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But then people still look at radio as kind of like this, oh, I need to get like a radio hit, blah, blah, blah. But it seems like you never really went that way.
Because even with Foreplay, how it happened, it wasn't like something I did intentionally for radio or even anything in the past. Like I'm trying to make a song just to make sure I lives on radio. So in the midst of the project, we can at least have a couple live on radio. It's been more so it's like it's organic and I push it towards the fans because that's how it started. And I didn't want to like switch the process up too much, trying to be overly intentional and you not really being yourself at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, I went on your YouTube page and I saw the music video, and the top comment is, "Who's still listening to this in 2020?"
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
You didn't even see?
Yeah, nah, I hadn't seen that in a while. I had checked it. Wow, that's crazy.
So, you know, shout out to you for making a record that's been like lasting for so long.
Respect.
But, you know, I think for the fans, like, what was really the message behind Foreplay? Like, what was the inspiration behind it?
So, to be straightforward, I was dealing with things I was dealing with in school, females as well, obviously. So I was going back and forth with a girl at the time, and at the same time, I had a couple other things that were in my mind, like females-wise. So it wasn't really something that I was overly committed to, but I still was dealing with the stress of it because relationships, you know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with a lot of different people, or just people in general, multiple different people at times, energies can be very real, and like it's a lot to deal with. So during that time, I literally went to my homie Jeff's crib, and we recorded that in his bedroom. And we just was like, all right, so let's make this make sense. And I came to him with a beat I found like on SoundCloud through somebody's page like 2 years before that. And I literally just found it, started spitting it back and forth to him. He's like, yeah, I think we got it. Then I called my homegirl Emily over, and she laid the singing part on top of the hook. And after that,
So Foreplay wasn't even a beat that you constructed. It was a beat that you just found online?
Yeah, honestly, it was a beat I found online on SoundCloud. I was digging, and I was like, how I needed something to relate to the emotion I was feeling at the moment, and at the same time, I wasn't trying to stretch myself too thin. So, you know what I'm saying? Just grinding it out, trying to find some new music, and I found something on SoundCloud.
Hey, man, you get it how you can get it.
Yeah, exactly. No excuses with that time.
But, you know, isn't it crazy how like some of the best songs really come out of the relationships that we build with people?
Yeah.
Like I forgot who said it, but they basically said that a lot of this hip hop shit is based off us talking about women, or from a male perspective, it's like us talking about women.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the best music, like you're saying, and the most timeless music comes from the most vulnerable places. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times where we may not feel the most comfortable, I feel like Foreplay wasn't a stretch for me, but I didn't feel the most comfortable in the moment of writing it, but I knew I needed to release. And things like that, down to other songs that I released past, has always shown that the more vulnerable, but at the same time, the true to yourself, that's going to push you a lot further than what you think is going to go. You know what I mean?
So, even the idea of foreplay when you're having when you're fornicating, right? Yeah. So, like, the idea is that, like, you kind of put yourself in a position to where you're asking your partner to be, like, something that they're not, in a sense, to kind of, like, please you. And it's also, like, back and forth. So it's, like, I'm not going to ask you about your sexual shit, but it's, like, have you struggled with, like, I guess trying to find identity? Because that's what I kind of got from Foreplay.
I'll be honest, like, when it comes to, like, actual, like, I guess, sexual stuff and things like that, I never really had too much of an issue when it comes down to, like, like when it comes down to, like females and, like, necessarily, like, getting to that point in that process, you know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like it was more so something I was struggling with. It was more so something with me trying to make a clear identity for someone else at the time. Like, I didn't feel like I was struggling with it, but the communication part, you know what I'm saying, to the other person, sometimes that was a little jaded. So I feel like a lot of times my music is a release in a sense of clarity to be understood better from other people as opposed to me trying to understand myself better. You know what I mean?
Got you. Because I guess in the sense that you want other people to understand you as best as possible.
So you know how to operate with me as opposed to like, you know what I'm saying, I'm assuming. So now I'd rather set the standard and the base where it's like, okay, well, this is his thought process sometimes, so I'm going to know how to operate as opposed to
just whatever, like, like throwing darts against the wall and thinking like, I think this works.
Yeah.
So, that song is obviously like 3-4 years old. Why did you decide to put that on Shepherds?
So I felt like
2 Shepherds.
Yeah, I felt like I wanted to put it on 2 Shepherds just because that was one song that really meant a lot to me, and it's transcended time, and I'm grateful for it, but also I feel like I'm stepping into a new chapter with this project. So I just wanted to put that on there as like a bonus, just for something to be like, okay, well, it's still relevant, and it shows it's still true to him, and after you listen to the whole project, you're not feeling like this is a different person, you're just feeling like this person evolved and they grew. So you're seeing that elevation at the same time in a body of work, as opposed to having to go back and dive. Now you can catch that one piece, and it can inspire you to go back and dive, as opposed to just, okay, well, nah, this is just a new person. Nah, I'll give you what you think you might know, and then you can compare it to a degree to where I'm at now in my thought process, and you can see I'm still the same person. It's just
I got you. Yeah, because it's kind of like I think it allows people to go back, but then also realize like, damn, he was thinking about the same things he'd been thinking about for the past 3 years. And,
exactly.
It just took some time for you to, like, I guess, grow and just like evolve with your same thought process from back then too.
Exactly.
So, I do got to ask though, like, being away for like 3.5 years or so, that's such a long ass time, bro. So like, what was going on during that time? I know you moved from North Carolina to LA, but what was really going on during that time?
So during that time, honestly, I was dealing with a lot of different things. One, partially being a little bit disconnected from the crib, with not being able to be around a lot of artists I know, as well as like comfortability with production and everything else like that. And I really just been taking time to grow and build. So now I feel like I'm at the point where I had my head down for so long. I didn't want to step outside. I didn't want to go out, party too much, be around too mixy, as opposed to walking in and having a product to be mixy with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my thought process, and that's what I wanted to do. So now I'm at a point where I feel like with 2 Shepherds, it's like, okay, well, so to a degree, I could come and out party. So you have what I've been working on in a sense of what I've curated and feel like this is what's it. And then also what you're going to be getting soon is everything else I've been working on. So I don't feel like I have to stop at this point. Before, I felt like I had some things where it made sense, where it's like, okay, I can do this, but it's a train keep chugging along. Now it's like, okay, well, nah, I'm a Blitz, and I can give you whatever you want now because I have it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting on like, for a time I didn't think I'd even see like having 100 songs. I'm double that at least right now. So,
sheesh.
And I only dropped 15 songs. So now it's at a point where it's like, okay, how can I be more structured, calculated, but also keep consistency in myself? And that was the main thing with this project, and knowing like I got that consistency, and I know that my consistency doesn't have to stop at this point.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it sounds like, because I feel like in this day and age, like I like to refer to Russ as the guy who really made this clear. Like he just started dropping like one song a week, and then his catalog just built. It sounds like for the past 3 years, you've really just been building your catalog. Now you could kind of just go on for what it sounds like. If you dropped one song a week, right, and you have 200 songs, that's 200 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
Where you could just constantly just keep on dropping shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a smart man.
I had to move. I had to move it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that.
Yeah. But you know, it also does sound like you're extremely particular and calculated.
Yeah.
So then, like, how do you know when something is just, how do you know when you have like the right song?
So, a lot of times, I don't get tired of my music. First off, I pride myself on the fact it's like, okay, if I made this and I get tired of it, then I know other people will get tired of it. And I try not to get to that point. So typically I'll be intentional. I'm gonna walk in, I'm gonna be on this type of thing, I'm gonna be on this type of thing. But at the same time, like, I never really overly force it. And certain songs have just stuck out, whether it be playing it for the homies, the team, different things like that. And then through time, they'll be like, oh, yo, that was the one. And sometimes it'll be ones that they don't think. And then I'll be like, yo, I got this personal reserve for it, just because that look on my iTunes, I played that 500 times, you know what I'm saying? But other people be like, yo, I played it 20, 30, it's cool, but I'm just like, there's something about this. And it's all about, to me, it's all about feeling and like just having that gut feeling. If you feel like that's the one, then that's the one. Like even when it came down to Foreplay and every songs like that, I had like maybe like 5, 6 songs at first, and I was like, okay, well, I want to drop some music, but which one's gonna be the one that's gonna connect to people? And I thought necessarily just because of females, as well as like being able to translate on that side. Okay, well, if I drop coming out the gates with something with more so to cater towards females, you have females, then you can get the homies after that. But like if you have the females thinking on that what type of way, you can operate differently after that. You know what I mean?
I hear you. So, you know, I'm listening to the album, and my favorite record is actually All I Need.
Oh, word.
Like, bro, as soon as the strings hit, I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then, you know, even when the hook comes in, it's like, all I need, switch up my mindset.
Yeah.
I feel like people were looking at the new decade, 2020, is like, oh, this is when I'm going to do this is when I'm going to do that. But, you know, how old is All I Need, by the way?
All I Need is honestly like 2 years old.
What?
Yeah.
So you were thinking on this shit like since 2018 or something like that, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I relate to that song a lot because I feel like I've needed to do plenty of things just to like trigger, you know, obviously trigger change and trigger like a new mood. Like you're at the new set for the Lynch Show, by the way. So
Fire,
like,
by the way, too.
So thank you so much,
Yeah,
man.
no doubt.
But like, so where were you before that song, and where are you like after that song?
So when I made All I Need, I was really going through like a relationship. Me and my old girl just broke up, and it was messing with my mind for the longest. It was like it didn't make sense, but also like I'm in a new city. I don't know too many people. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm figuring it out. Like it wasn't like I wasn't sleeping on couches when I first got out here. Like 6, 8 months. Jumping around from my Airbnb to Airbnb to a point. So I was grinding and getting it. So my thought process in the midst of also relationship and that going on is like, okay, well, I've always looked at my medicine as therapy or my music as therapeutic. So if I'm looking at it as therapeutic, how can I be how can I self-medicate and also be able to be in a place where I can help myself? And I felt like that was all I need. I needed to wake up in the morning to hear that song probably like 4 to 5 months straight. I literally woke up every morning and played that song and blasted it.
That's crazy.
Just because I was dealing with what I was dealing with in my mind, but I'm talking to myself, telling myself to get into a better space and not allow myself to slip. So it made me realize, okay, well, if I can do this, hopefully I can do the same thing for somebody else. But if I can be on this type of time, not all the time, you know what I'm saying, but for like the things that I need and be able to self-heal, it'll change the game. You know what I mean?
Because I can imagine. I mean, I can't even imagine how difficult it must have been for you to, you know, obviously go through that breakup, move here, and then just basically couch surfing from Airbnb. Because that's a lot of bread, bro. That's a shit ton of bread. How much money do you think you spent on Airbnbs for the first 6 to 8 months?
Bro, no, in Airbnbs, the first 2 months we was paying close to $3,000 at least a month. And it was just like, dang, we don't even got a place, but we paying this at the Airbnb, and that's, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, bro.
We was trying to get it. Plus, cause like, I mean, we fresh out of school. We not knowing too many people out here. We had a team, but the team wasn't all the way formulated to the degree it is now at that point. So in the midst of it all, we was just thugging it out, trying to make sure we did what we did to get to the next place. You know
I gotta ask you, how old are you?
26.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been here for 3 years, so 23.
Okay. 22, 23, yeah.
So now I gotta ask you, bro, like, because a lot of your music comes from, I feel like it comes from like a dark place, but then you flip it so that it sounds like extravagant, and you know, like it sounds really good, right? It sounds cheerful, but considering it's coming from a dark place, and you know, you were moving around from Airbnb for like 6 to 8 months, and you were dealing with what you were dealing with, and I think the key factor that you said was music is self-medicating.
Yeah.
Like, what is your thought process on young artists like coming into this game? Everything's happening at once, and then, you know, we get situations like, rest in peace to Juice WRLD. You know, we get situations like that. Like, how do you personally deal with like not going that route if you haven't already?
I feel like it kind of boils down to the people you got around you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take away from the way people choose to live their lives, or like choose to like get it, how they choose to get it. Certain people use like whatever they use for like to medicate themselves, or like to numb themselves. I can't hate on that. That's not necessarily me, but at the same time, like, to each his own. R.I.P. to Juice in general. Juice was like crazy talented kid, as well as cool soul. Like, I had so much respect for his music and who he was as a person. So like, off top, I hate to see things like that happen, as well as other people that's been passing away recently. But in general, I feel like it boils down to the people you got around you, as well as like the way you choose to approach it, because a lot of things can get really tossed at you quickly when you coming out like into the music industry and having a lot of things at your disposal. And a lot of times most people ain't had that type of time like early, you know what I mean? So you can overly indulge in it if you bask and that's the thought process you have, or you can be like, okay, well, I can be intentional, I can structure it out how you choose to structure it out, just so it benefits you more, as opposed to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know, it sounds like you have a really good team around you that just kind of keeps you on point with everything that you need to do.
Yeah,
so, you know, shout out to your team for sure.
Definitely. Guys.
You know?
For real.
Speaking of all, like, the newer cats too, man, like, something about North Carolina, bro, is just... You guys have just been like opening up the gates, man.
Right
you know,
now.
shout out to Cole, shout out to the baby, shout out to Loot, shout out to Rhapsody too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is it about the water, bro? Like, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, honestly, we got a lot of talent in North Carolina. I feel like we've had it for so long, but we just never really had that light. So shout out to the baby for opening the floodgates to a degree on it from the younger side for the city. He from Charlotte too, and Loot, my guy. I know Loot for a minute. Low key, me, Loot, and rapper Big Pooh got a song we did like 3 or 4 years ago. It's out on it's on Pooh's album called Words Paint Pictures. Yeah,
that's fire.
So we did that a long time ago. But aside from that, like, everybody in North Carolina, especially Charlotte, typically we all know each other because we come from the same. So it's very rare that like you'll see people when people don't really rock with each other if they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's very close-knit in the city. There's a lot of different artists about to come up and kind of do the thing, so I'm excited about it.
So then how is the community over there? Do you guys kind of, like, help each other out, or do you guys...
To a degree. I mean, initially, like, I'll be honest, like, in the city, we never really had too much of a foundation in a sense of, like, to be able to grow younger artists. Like, when I was coming up, me, Loot, I believe the baby wasn't there, but I'm not really positive. But we would all perform in like little small hole in the wall, like, shops, you know what I'm saying, where we all seeing each other, like 17, 16. So we're all seeing each other doing these different things. But then got to the point where everybody just started shooting and like things just started getting so violent. So all the clubs and opening like the little like up and coming hip hop spots all shut down because they didn't want hip hop business in Charlotte. So then it was like discouraging younger artists to really feel like we didn't have that place where we could see ourself growing in it.
Yeah,
it was more so like, okay, well, that happened. If you want to perform, the only place you're gonna be able to perform is like a Fillmore. But if you're not getting booked at Fillmore, you're not really gonna be in the Fillmore. So you just looking and it's like you got a couple different people that got studios, but everybody's going to the same people and we all know each other. Then after that, everybody's starting to disperse because it's like we know what's here, but we're not getting any light because they don't want us here.
Yeah.
And now it's getting to the point where because of the bread that's coming into the city, we had All Star like last year, year before. Baby's doing crazy stuff. We got Luke doing dope stuff. Rhapsody, like you said, Cole. Everybody's like, it's getting to a point where it's like, okay, well, now it's more accepted. Now y'all are making us money, to be honest. So it's like, since y'all are making us money, maybe we'll be like, okay, well, maybe be more accepted. It's still not to the point where you seeing too much growth in the sense of like them trying to open the doors for it. But I still got.
You see the baby steps.
Yeah, you see the baby steps. I got
no pun intended, by the way.
That's funny. Yeah,
the baby steps. Yeah. No. All right. Anyway. Yeah, because then you guys also have the Dreamville Festival popping off like in the summer too. Yeah. So, man, I'm actually excited to see like yourself really like take off now, and like everybody else who is coming out of like Charlotte. Who are some other cats that you've been like locked in with over there?
Walter B3. There's a dude named Wells from he's from Charlotte but was in Raleigh for a minute. De Niro's dope. De Niro Ferrar, dope artist. Draquan Carter and Germ 9V. It's like it's a good amount of people. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope just to see us all like starting to hone in and take time with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do gotta ask because the internet always talks. The internet obviously compares you and J. Cole. I think it's just like a North Carolina thing, and also the fact that both of you guys can spit. Mm-hmm. Like, does that comparison like bother you at all?
Initially, to be honest, I didn't really understand it. I understood it necessarily because of the sound, but it took me a while to appreciate it differently. Then I appreciate it the way I appreciate it now, because often I would just hear, oh, you sound like him, but then once people took a little more dive into the music, it wasn't just necessarily like you sound like him. It's more of like, okay, well, the way you choose to approach it, it's in a similar way. As opposed to like, okay, well, you specifically, every single song you doing this, you sound like him. It's not that anymore, and I didn't understand that initially. So through the process, I've been more like grateful because of the way that people could have like regard for my music in that sense, knowing that I'm taking my time with it. I'm not just doing it just to, you know what I'm saying, just to throw something out, just 'cause I could throw something out and it's on a uptight vibe and I know it's gonna vibe in the club or whatever. I'd rather make sure I do something that's gonna impact you and have both. But then, you know what I'm saying?
I get you. I think it's the struggle that Cole had initially when he made like Workout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think Jay-Z was just pushing the button for like, yo, we need a radio hit. Mm-hmm. But I think it's cool that you can look at situations like that and be like, well, as we were talking about earlier, it's like we don't need a radio hit. I'm just gonna make a song that directly is me, Jalen Santoy, and if people fuck with it, then they do. If they don't, then
Fact.
Move on.
Fact. And like you're saying, that's exactly right. And I mean, so much shout out to Cole. He really opened the gates for the Carolinas in general. So what he's doing with Dreamville and they're making an imprint on the game. So it's dope to see it, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's also dope to like run alongside it and see it in close knit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. This might be like a dart thrown in the dark, but like has Cole ever like tapped in with you? Oh.
Dave, he said crazy. I'm yeah, Cole. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, we might have been in the same room a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, Cole. I got a lot of respect for that. He's dope. Yeah.
I think the reaction was all I needed, bro.
Word.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, now I gotta ask one more question.
What's up?
Did you go to the Dreamville sessions?
Nah, I actually wasn't. I was honestly I was locked in on my project. That was one of the main reasons that I wasn't in the A, because I know a couple different people that were there to a degree, but like I was more so really just trying to like for the last year and a half, my head has really just been down focused on really trying to knock what I got going out. You know what I'm saying? Like the body of work, because I didn't have any features on it, so I really wanted to have like a solid foundation. So I didn't really listen to too much other music that was had really been coming out. I wasn't like clocking, checking for many people. I wasn't really trying to make myself mixy or in the mix to allow certain things to fall in my lap. I was more so like, all right, I'm going to the crib. I'm in the studio. I'm not really hitting many people up aside from the close-knit people I got, and I'm just trying to knock this body of work out. You know what I mean?
And also, I think also at the same time, too, like locking yourself in, you kind of put away with like any other influences that might come your way.
Yeah.
You're really smart, man. That's
my main thing, because like now after this project, I want to go and like, I want to do features more. I'm gonna show my competitiveness, because I started off like I was in college. I was playing soccer, So I played college soccer at like 2 or 3 different schools. That was my thing. Like since I was 3 years old, I've always been playing soccer. Mm-hmm. So now being able to reapply that same mental towards this music stuff. That's why I've been able to have like the discipline I've had. But in the competitive spirit, I've been able to show it. But like I hadn't really been able to hone in on my thought process and my take of it. So now being able to have this project, the foundation. So you know this. You know that we can go to different places. You may not get that every time, but you understand where we could go, as well as things that you might not know we could go, but you can see little sparks. Now, when I choose to go and hop on songs with different people that I may admire, like they are my peers, I can more so be like, okay, well, we gonna talk differently on this. You know what I mean?
I'd love to see you trade bars with like Nick Grant.
Yeah,
or
Nick Grant's from
collaborate
Nick Grant's
too.
from South Carolina, I believe.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Shout out to Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina again.
The Carolinas, man.
Carolina again. Yeah.
I'm going through your Twitter, man. January 5th.
Yeah.
You tweeted, "I met Ye today."
Oh yeah, I did.
The funniest reply to that? Somebody said, "You're never gonna fail." In reference to Ultralight Beam, Chance the Rapper.
Shout out Chance.
Shout out Chance.
Yeah.
How did that encounter even occur?
So I went to Sunday service.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to Sunday service and shout out to my manager Josiah. So I went to Sunday service and as soon as we were like one of the last people to get into the building, as soon as we got into the building, I guess Ye was in the corner and he just walked straight up to me, dapped me up. He was like, Ye, it's really nice to meet you. I appreciate you coming, this, that, and the third. Introduced us to the like people around it, and it was just love, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, you're never gonna fail. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Two Shepherds is out now, man. Do you know the idea of a shepherd is that like somebody that you follow, right?
Yeah.
And you know someone would also have to be a sheep.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself being the shepherd or the sheep?
I put it like I find myself being a shepherd. But I feel like I have both. I have, like I said, it's 2 shepherds. So I've always grown up with German shepherds in my family. Like I've always had like the ones that's on that picture, or my dogs that I had as soon as I was born, up until like you know what I'm saying, 9, 10. Then I got another German shepherd, and another one. And my thought process towards it was like seeing that like they were the original ones were brothers, but they were a little bit different. One was more mature. One was a little bit more like advantageous about doing things that he know he wasn't supposed to do. So I feel like I have both of those sides in me. I feel like there's one side of me that's like, do this, do this, do this. Another side of me wants to go and have fun, do that. Third, both have discipline to a degree, but my thought process was towards it like whichever one you feed, you're gonna become more of. And I feel like in the process of like this project, I was really understanding myself, but also reflecting on why I am the way I am. My thought process, like understanding that my dogs were like things that had imprints on me, but then also relaying my dogs to the people that I have in my life and understanding how certain things that they may deal with, their influences could be influences on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you kind of feed you feed a part of you, and then that part ends up becoming like bigger than like any other part of you too. So if you're feeding a side of you that is this is as best as I can relate it to your life based off this conversation. Like, if you feed more into like your relationship, then it's like you're gonna foster in some way that relationship. If you feed it more into your career is obviously gonna foster more than everything else. Yeah. So I guess at that point, it's just a matter of like, which side of me do I really want to like pursue for majority of my life. Yeah. Sounds like for you, it was career.
It had to be, because I feel like what I'm understanding is being able to have an imprint and make changes on other people's lives and influence other people in the right direction. I could never run away from that. And I feel like that's my calling. I feel like that's what I was meant to do. I was meant to be able to help people and my music to be learning a better understanding of myself, but also being able to help people get to that point in themselves. You know what I mean?
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Jalen Santoy. So at this point, man, I'm just gonna ask you a round of like super quick questions, and you just answer them. So we're obviously at the lunch table. So what's your favorite lunch, man?
My favorite lunch, I like steak. I know it's a dinner, but I like steak, bro.
Man, that's cool with me. Well, how do you like it cooked?
All right, I like my steak cooked medium well. I can't do that rare stuff. I don't like that blood. I'm not crazy on no blood.
You like some dry ass food, bro.
I ain't saying dry. I ain't saying dry. No dry. But I need that, like, I take a medium well steak where it's a little pink, but not,
All right.
I don't do too well blood from like animals and stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough, man.
Yeah.
Who would be like your dream collaboration as an artist and also a producer?
My dream collaboration with an artist would be Andre 3000.
Oh,
I feel like me and Andre could do something wild in the sense of like he doesn't have any bounds with his creativity, and I don't feel like I would either. And then production, I'd probably say Pharrell.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
So maybe we can have Jalen Santoy featuring Andre 3000 on a Pharrell beat.
Need that. That would go crazy.
Hey,
that would go crazy.
When it happens,
watch, just know that.
Yeah, and if you're watching this, he also owes me 5% of the whole thing because.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. We do that. We do that. I got you. I got you. Yeah.
Jalen, and last question, man. What's one random music fact about you that people may not know?
One random music fact about me.
This is always the one that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
We got time though.
I started off as an engineer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like when I was in high school, I was in choir in middle school, but once I got to high school, I saw that I was really starting to like rap. I was like writing and stuff like that. I went on YouTube, saw some studios. I literally went on eBay and I bought a whole bunch of soundproofing pads. And and I went into my spare bedroom in the house, decked the whole thing out, soundproofing pads. Then I would literally have all the homies from different schools in Charlotte just start pulling up to my house, and I literally would be recording them. And I used to not rap because I used to rap mad slow and like just it was messed up. So then as I'm recording them, I'm getting like better in the sense of understanding how to be in the box working. And then they'd be leaving, and it's like, yo, why don't you do this? So and I started trying, and it's like, oh, all right, I'm understanding it. Now I'm in the crib and I'm able to do this myself. I took so much more time and I was able to like go that, and I could be more intentional about how I want my stuff to sound because I started off helping others. So now, as opposed to helping others, being able to help myself and know intentionally what I want, all that I'm doing now is just growing in that. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not always in a crazy amount of studios. I can do it in the crib. I just put some headphones on and really lock in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all you really need, bro. I think Billie Eilish made her whole album at the crib.
Billie is crazy.
And that was just a $3,000 setup.
Yeah.
Now she's a millionaire.
She go crazy. Billie really do go crazy.
I got 2 more sub questions because you engineer.
Yeah.
Hey, do you still engineer all your own stuff?
Not all of my stuff. I got a homie that's out here. His name is Los. Fire engineer. I got another homie. His name Prizzy. He's in Atlanta. I've known him for a long time too. And it's both are crazy engineers. They both did the whole project for me. So shout out to them.
Shout out to them, man.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for both of y'all. So I appreciate y'all. Yeah, and honestly, most of the times I do like little small things like that. I do like temp or rough mixes on my stuff. I send it to them, and then we'll bounce back and forth. But we go through 30 mixes close to sometimes a song. Really dude. Just trying to. I can't help it. You know what I'm saying?
No wonder it took you 3 years, bro.
They be hating me because I'm sure I'm annoying as hell because I know they be hating me. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, going back and forth that much, it was all worth the wait, bro.
Yeah.
And last question, man, did you like, were there any like notable people you were engineering for when that was like your grind?
To be honest,
or just really for all the homies?
Nah, it was for the homies. Like I would, if you was in Charlotte and you were around the like South Side where I was from, you probably had one of our mixtapes. Just because I would do mixtapes and I would have like 10 people like on the mixtapes where it'd be like a whole bunch of different people that like we had a project that was called the G Code. We also had a team that was called 90 Vanguard. We used to literally just print out CDs and dish them.
That's crazy.
So we was more on that type of time where it wasn't anybody really blew, but it was like all of us were like family. So we all had different sounds, like from country to R&B to hip hop. We was all doing different things, and it was just all coming out of my room. So we was doing that, and everybody had different areas.
You sound like the gatekeeper, bro.
Nah.
Man, I was engineering everybody's shit.
Nah.
I got a country record here.
Hey, I'm not saying it was the craziest mixes in the world, but we was making it.
You had something.
And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And last question. I keep on coming up with this shit, but like, so you know, I know you've been working for like the past 3 years, just like song after song after song. What can we expect after Two Shepherds?
After Two Shepherds, you can expect a lot of music. I might even drop another project or two before the end of the year. To be honest, I got it.
3 Shepherds.
Yeah, no more Two Shepherds. That was like more so some foundational stuff.
Yeah.
But now, like I said, just because I'm more open to features and things like that, I want to go crazy this summer. I don't want to stop. And that was my intent for this project. I wanted to, like I said, to not be able to have bounds and not feel like I'm restricted because I don't got more. Now, I feel like I got more and I'm still working every single day. So I don't want to stop. So definitely another project hopefully before the end of the summer, and then another project by the end of the year if everything go right. You know what I mean?
There you go, man. Well, this is the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz. Jalen Santoy, give everybody your social media.
Nah, you good. Hey.
Clearly, I'm fucking up right now. I keep on saying last question.
Nah, it's cool.
Last question.
It's cool, yeah. Nah, so follow me on the gram, Twitter, Snapchat, like YouTube.
Damn, Snapchat.
Everything the same, like, you know what I'm saying? All the socials the same. Facebook too. Jalen Santoy, JalenSantoy.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz, Jalen Santoy, and we are out, everybody. Yee!